Okay, this is a video about how to rethread the axle on a hanger of a skateboard truck.
Between all these tools, you can see which ones of them got a rethreader on them and which ones don't. So first off, what you want to do is get one that's got the rethreader, which is one of these right here. Looks kind of like that. So there's a million of these videos about how to do this, but hopefully y'all will like mine better because my production and video angles are so good. What's up, dude? So anyway,
So start off by removing the trucks from off the board. Then take the wheels off the trucks and take the axle nuts and leave them off to the side so you don't lose any of them. So now you got the truck free from the board and the axle nuts are removed. What you want to do is you want to take the tool, the rethreader, and carefully screw it onto the axle the same exact way that you would with the axle nut when you're putting on your wheels. You'll be able to tell when it twists as far down as it's going to go. So when that happens, loosen it back up and go all the way back to the end, then go back and forth and repeat the process about 3 or 4 times. By the time it's rethreaded, it should spin sort of like a wheel or a bearing does. At this point, you'll know that it's done. Go ahead and try putting your wheels back on.
I never got a tool with a rethreader that didn't work, so I'm not going to say which one to buy. If you ever did buy a pair of Ace AF1 trucks, you already know that they come along with a little rethreader nut on the side, which is those little red ones. I believe they come with 2 of them. If you never bought those trucks or you don't ride Ace trucks, then you would be dependent on somebody to give you the rethreaders that came with theirs. Basically, I like Ace trucks and I buy them a lot, so I would build up a collection, obviously, of these rethreaders that come with them. If you even get your hands on one of them, it's a fantastic alternative to having to take your whole truck off, holding it sideways, or putting the hanger in a vice grip or whatever, you know. So to use one of these, it's really similar, but probably easier because you don't have to take off your truck. You remove the wheels only, or if it's only one side of the hanger you feel like you got to do it on, then just remove that one wheel. So obviously it won't take a rocket scientist to figure out that it's exactly the same as when you like screw your wheels back on. Meaning that you use the side of the skate tool that fits the axle nut, not the kingpin side. Place the rethreader nut into that end of the skate tool. Then with the wheel removed from that side of the axle, or a hanger, whatever you want to call it, screw the rethreader nut on evenly, turning clockwise just like you do when you tighten up your wheels. The one attention to detail is that it's got to be aligned straight with the original threads. If you should go full force into just screwing it on and you have it sort of diagonal or out of alignment, it could possibly just like de-thread your axle instead of rethreading it. So be careful of that. Naturally, a banged up axle will not have a thread at the end of it, so when you're trying to screw it on, it's not going to feel right because it feels like you can't get it to just get into the groove, you know. But don't worry, that's exactly what the rethreader is for. It should work out just fine if you just hold it really straight and apply pressure to it enough. Just like with any other tool, I would say you still want to go back over it about 3 or 4 times to make sure that it cuts a clean new threads into it. I don't know if that makes sense. Once it rethreads the end, just repeat the process like 3 or 4 times. After that, the axle nut ought to just go right back on. Another thing I like a lot about the Ace rethreader, you could carry it with you to a spot and have a whatchamacallit, an axle nut that falls off. You know, I mean, I've seen it happen before. It's happened to me, where your wheel just falls off. Next thing you know, you're kind of grinding along the ground on your axle. That alone can actually mess up the threading on it pretty fast, especially if the ground is real rough. But one way or the other, it's good to have the Ace tool around or some type of a rethreader, because otherwise you got to go home and fix it and find another axle nut or whatever. So, you know, they got the pig tool and the plan B tool and whatever else. You know, there's a lot of tools that have a rethreader that's real similar to this Bono one. I just think that if I cover on this footage how to use one that's on a tool shaped like this, and then one that's just using the tool to do the Ace rethreader thing. By no means will I attempt to say which one of these things works the best, but what I will say to do is like my videos, subscribe to my channel, then hit the notification bell. Thanks again for watching.